Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. Bitcoin is currently trading at its all-time high, and it's nothing which we haven't said yesterday. In this video, we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with cheap taker fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc. The taker fees are overall very low, but we always have 100 tokens with zero fees, and at the moment, Bitcoin is tradable without any fees. You also see Sui and other coins, which are very popular to trade without any fees. So let's get to Bitcoin. What did we say yesterday? We have said about Bitcoin that we had our big bull flag, which you can see right here. This is our bull flag. We already broke it to the upside, and we got a consolidation within another bull flag. So we have said if we break the $109,450 to the upside, if we zoom in, and if I take the price mark a bit away, then you can see here we just wicked over it. That's not a sustainable breakout. And I think that what we have right now is not sustainable. What does it mean? We had here one green candle which closed over the bull flag. So it was actually tradable. I didn't take the Bitcoin trade. I took the trade for XRP and Solana. I will show you why shortly. But let's talk about Bitcoin first. I wanted to see a breakout and a retest, and in the retest I'm in for a long position. You can already see we don't have any fair value gaps in that area, even down to here. So it's basically safe to trade if we would have got the retest. It was also safe to trade if we would have used the breakout candle. But anyway, we have said if we break the bull flag to the upside, then we should also take the 110,300 US dollar to the upside, and afterwards a new all-time high. So we are currently waiting for the all-time high. So if I make this white trend line a bit longer, then you can see this is the all-time high, the old all-time high. We got perfectly rejected there. It is pretty normal. I can assume if we go into the 50 minutes chart that over the next few minutes or hours, we are going to get rejected, form a higher low, and afterwards try to break it to the upside. And afterwards, a quick push into the purple box which we have on the chart since months. It's 112,500 US dollar up to 115,000 US dollar. Here I expect Bitcoin getting. So basically some kind of this movement should happen. Afterwards here, getting rejected, probably retesting the $110,300 because we didn't retest it yet. And afterwards another push into the $120,000 to $125,000 for Bitcoin, because that is our target for the overall bull market. This area here, 120,000 to 125,000 US dollar. I will also put you here the price mark. So this is the first one, and here is the second one. So let's talk about Ethereum. So what did we say about Ethereum? So Ethereum, we have said that this might be a double top pattern. So we have also said that we have still the target ongoing of 2,680 US dollars. So it might be possible that we push, and afterwards, what can it look like? Like a head and shoulders formatation. So since this movement is still possible, I'm not going to jump into an Ethereum long position. I want to see the $2,857 breaking to the upside. And then I can confidently say, okay, we should push even more, because on the 8-hour chart, we have a huge fair value gap between 2,916 US dollar up to 3,050 US dollar. And those fair value gaps are going to get closed, in my opinion. I will show you that with XRP, because there we have closed the fair value gap. There was a trade possible with my setup. So I would take out the target of the rectangle out of the chart. I would just keep the bright blue trend line on the chart, because that's going to indicate this possible head and shoulders formatation. But to be bullish, yeah, you can already see it. We have fair value gaps, and it's not a big deal because we don't have fair value gaps far lower than us. Yeah, we always have smaller ones, but it might be possible that we just get a small pullback and afterwards another push. So this is going to be just a higher low. And then we can look for higher prices for Ethereum. So if I would be in an Ethereum long position, then it's not the worst idea to take some profits just to take out the risk in the market, yeah, because we can anytime sell soon once Bitcoin hits its all-time high. All-time high areas always getting a bit tricky to trade. We can look into the old all-time high. There you can see here all-time high, small consolidation within 1 day. We sold off by 5%, almost 5%, 4 to 5%. And this is going to hurt the altcoins, because if we look into the Bitcoin dominance, then you can see that we are just going to form something bullish. Something bullish, I would say, might be this. So this can be a bull flag, or this here can be a falling wedge. This is a bullish pattern. If the Bitcoin dominance is going to push to the upside, then Bitcoin is going to outperform the altcoins. It doesn't mean that both have to go to the upside. It doesn't mean that Ethereum has to push. It also means if Bitcoin sells off, then Bitcoin is going to sell off less than the altcoins. So let's jump into another altcoin, XRP, and let's go into the 1 hour chart. We have said about XRP that the whole uptrend is within a rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern. But we have also said if the $2.36 breaks to the upside, now let me zoom in. Here was the breakout. Here was the retest long. And then we had a fair value gap. The fair value gap was this area here. And this was my take profit area. So I'm out of my XRP trade. I have taken profits before I made this video because we are in the target which I wanted to get. I have also said once we get our nice retest and the breakout, then we should go very fast into the fair value gap. And this was a 2.6% trade up to 3% trade without leverage. So very profitable. What am I going to do with XRP right now? Nothing. I'm going to watch. I did my trade. So basically if the $2.48 breaks to the upside, then I would be ready to put more money into a long position, and I would consider opening one if we get a nice breakout like we have seen before. If not, then we still have to keep in mind that this whole uptrend can just be another rising wedge. So the whole up move still looks corrective to me. I want to see the $2.48 breaking to the upside. If we break this price mark to the upside, then I think it's going to be bullish. And we can think about prices getting up to $2.80 for XRP, where we have another huge fair value gap. So next coin, Solana. Solana was also a profitable trade, exactly as predicted. We have said we are in a bull flag. We have also said this might be a double top pattern, but where was the breakout to the downside? We didn't get one. So this pattern didn't even get activated, and that's what I have told you yesterday. Just because we have bearish pattern on the chart doesn't mean that we are going to short it. They don't have to break to the downside. They can get invalidated. And since we are in a bull flag, or let's say we were in a bull flag, but we broke it to the upside, here was the breakout, and here was the retest for 4 hours. So we had 4 hours time getting into a long position for this push. Target $158.25. Do I always want to hunt the last cent? No, I'm always taking profits earlier than the price mark. So I took mine before this video, was somewhere here. So I also did a 3% trade without any leverage. For sure, put leverage on it. Yeah, I'm a bit more risky in the crypto market, especially for the altcoins, because that's quick money. But also I keep in mind that I'm not putting my whole life savings into altcoins. Yeah, keep that in mind because we can always lose. But yeah, profitable trade. And if you have put some leverage on it, then you would have done nice gains within, so this was 11 a.m. Within 10 hours, 3% without leverage is pretty good. So what do I want to see now? I want to see the $158.25 breaking to the upside, next target up to 166 US dollar, where we have another fair value gap, and the fair value gap goes from 164 US dollar to 166 US dollar. So if I see a breakout with a retest like we have seen for XRP and Solana, then it's safe to trade for me. Just because we get a push to the upside like we have seen for Bitcoin, for example, we have said if we go long 110,300 US dollar, just because I see this kind of push doesn't mean that I'm going to jump immediately into a long position. I want to see the resistance getting support, like we have seen here for XRP, the resistance getting support right here. So if I see this kind of setup, safe to trade for me. So today was a profitable trade day with some profitable trades, and I hope that I gave you some valuable information, not just today, also yesterday, because yesterday we have gave you those price marks. See you in the next update where we talk about SUI, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. See you.